Hi, how's it going? So, thanks so much for joining me. Today, I have my daughter's fourth grade end of year review slash update slash review, I guess. So basically, we started homeschool August 1st for the whole year, and we're homeschooling up until May 1st. That was what we decided. Yeah. So as we're at the end of April. I decided to go ahead and film this video because we're pretty much finished with like 98% of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few things with you guys. And yeah, so I just wanted to start with like a couple basics, things that kind of really don't talk about that often. But for homeschool, we've always gone back and forth between what kind of pencils, mechanical versus regular pencils, and we've kind of always gone back to these. This is like the Dixon. I'm probably going to ruin it, but it's like TOCONDROGA, I think it is. So this brand, the erasers aren't great. Once you look at this one. Once you start erasing, so what I did was I went on Amazon and I bought like a giant amount of these, like a big box of these pencil erasers that you can put on the pencil, and it lasted us about 2 years. And actually, I'm going to reorder some. And so we've tried mechanical pencils. It ends up she's just out of lead. She fools around with the lead and it just takes forever. And she does use the mechanical pencils in her free time and her free drawing. But for homeschool, it's just easier for us to do this. And so what we've been doing is I bought an electric pencil sharpener, and that has made a huge difference. So what she does is I have her sharpen the pencils like on the weekends, like in a big group of them, like maybe 10 or 12, and then she has them all prepared for Monday, Monday through Friday. So that's what we've been doing. That has been working really great. And then she just grabs a new pencil, whereas before I was having her sharpen them. So that's just kind of like been a time saver. And these are my favorite pencils, and I plan to buy a bunch of them for 5th grade, usually from Target, and a big pack of these. I think it's like, I don't know if it's like Pentel, I forgot, but you can find them on Amazon. And then these, we switched from sticky tabs and from like regular paper bookmarks to these magnetic page clips. These, I bought quite a few packs of these. It's by the brand Remarks, and I actually found them, I think, at like Barnes & Noble. And I don't remember if I found them on Amazon, but they do have a lot of different options for magnetic page clips. So yeah, these have been so good for us. And so since I have so much information, so much items in this video, I'm not going to link every item like I usually do on Amazon, because I've linked most of these items in my 4th grade curriculum video. Now, a few things probably won't be on here, you guys, like, like the pencil toppers, but I'll try to decide. Maybe I'll add some more links, but for the most part, I'm just going to add in my 4th grade curriculum video as a link, and if you click on that video, you'll see the majority of this stuff. So otherwise, like I said, some of this stuff is like I've been having for years, and I haven't even bought recently, so I don't even know if they still have the stuff. So yeah, normally I do link everything, but I'm just let you guys know. Okay, so as far as like colored pencils, we were using primarily crayons for a lot of her things, but she's kind of really obsessed with colored pencils and prism. See, as you can see, like we've been having these. Look at some of them, are like how worn down they are. So I'm going to go ahead and buy her a new set for 5th grade of, I'm not sure which brand, but these are Prismacolor. And you can see like some of the blue, like this one, it's like really low. It's like really small. And these are, like I said, I just bought like a pack of Prismacolor. And she prefers the Prismacolor over the Crayola. They are a better quality. But for general homeschool things, I don't think you really need Prismacolor. But she, like, every time she has like an art project, she takes it very seriously, and she's obsessed with using Prismacolor, so she likes to use it. But before, we were just using like Crayola, but she actually brought these in the homeschool area, and these were her personal crayons, but color pencils. So I do recommend Prismacolor. They're really nice. But yeah, so that's been her favorite, like, art material that she's used a whole year. And then these I actually bought for myself, but then I ended up kind of just sharing them with her. This is a Prismacolor water soluble color pencils. These are like watercolor Prismacolor pencils, and these are we've been having for years. And these you can tell too, the colors that she uses a lot, like, you know, like neutral colors are pretty. This is like a little nub. That's how much we've used these. And she's not a huge fan of these. Actually, I just wanted to show you guys as like an option if you have a small homeschool area, or you like want to be like mess free. These are a very good option for versus getting out watercolor pans or liquid watercolors or tempera paint. You can just use this and then just add a brush, water with a brush, and it's like really, it's pretty like mess free. So I actually use these a lot for 4th grade because we were homeschooling at our kitchen table, well, dining room table, and it's wooden. It's like an old table, and so I didn't want to like mess it up with paints. So this was like a really good option for us, watercolor pencils, like I said, versus messier options, because you don't have to like mix it, you know what I mean? You just add it on with just the water brush. So yeah, so this is a really good option. And so yeah, okay, so now I'm going to start with language arts. That was just kind of like the odds and ends. And so for language arts, let's see, I did buy Handwriting Without Tears, which was cursive. And I didn't buy the whole set. I just bought this. And it was a really good success. I am continuing Handwriting Without Tears, Learning Without Tears for 5th grade. I think 5th grade will be the final one. And I will say that my daughter's cursive got better and better throughout the year. So this worked out really good. And this was like her main curriculum that we used pretty much for the 4th grade for cursive. And then what I had her do when she finished that, because we did finish that like probably 2 months ago, it didn't last the whole year, was we had this Handwriting Without Tears extra writing journal, I think from 3rd grade. And I would just have her, I just would write a sentence for her and she would just write it. And so this is what we did to end the year with, because she already had finished that other workbook. And it worked out pretty well. It's just basic. I mean, you could use any notebook, but I just had this left over. And so I just went ahead. Oh, we have one. See, we have one. Well, actually, we're not finished yet. This is our last week that I'm filming this video. I'm filming this video on a Monday. And so this is going to be her last Monday of the year. So all she's going to have left for cursive the rest of the year is this. And so this is just my way for her to practice cursive. And that worked out really well. And I definitely continue to continue cursive for 5th grade. And so for vocabulary, we use this My Word, All the Words vocabulary journal. I definitely have this linked in that 4th grade video, so check it out. I got it on Amazon. It's from another YouTube homeschooler channel and mom, and she sells these on Amazon, and you can check it out in that 4th grade curriculum link. And so we use it with this. Her name is The Learning Ladder, her channel, The Learning Ladder. So this is 365 words for clever kids. It worked out really good with pairing it. And this was really fun. My daughter just got to read a different word every week. It was really fun. So right now we're still doing this book orally as we wrap up. And we're still gonna have a little bit of the book left, but that's okay. You know, we rarely finish everything towards the end of the year. And yeah, so she's just reading these orally, 1 sentence a week. It worked out really great. It's so pretty. I'll be honest, I have not found a replacement for 5th grade. Like I think I've bought every beautiful like vocabulary book could find on the whole internet. And then for 5th grade, I'll show you guys in my 5th grade curriculum video, but we're kind of not going to be doing the same kind of thing with vocabulary because I can't find the book. Like, I really just love this. It's just beautiful and educational, and it just does what it needs to do. You know, teaches a new vocabulary word, and it's simple. And I have not found, other than the ones I've used for 3rd grade or 2nd grade, like I haven't found anything new. So yeah, that's like kind of a letdown that I haven't found a replacement, because I like to use a different book, you know, mix it up. But it worked out really good with this. And we finished this a few weeks ago. And so what this is she would write the word from that book and then define it, and then she would draw a picture, and then she would usually do a sentence orally, but then sometimes I would have her write the sentence. And then it's like Greek or Latin root, another word you could use. So I always would have her do that, like the synonym, and then make up a poem or riddle. But yeah, so it gives you different options. So we use this every single day, Monday through Thursday, throughout the whole year. And it worked out really good. I'm not, like I said, I'm not continuing it for 5th grade only because I like to mix things up. Like, this would be something, it's like, yeah, I like to mix things up every year, just keep it fresh. But I really loved that. Okay, so another thing we did for language arts, that was kind of my daughter's idea. She just, sorry, let me move some stuff. She got this book for a gift, I think it was. And then she was like, oh, I'd like to, it's like, Hello World, a celebration of languages and curiosities. Sorry, I'm like, I have so much stuff on this table, I probably won't have enough room, but basically it's how to say hello all over the world in different languages. And it tells you different areas, like this is Europe, North America with the flaps, and South America, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Oceania, and then goodbye world, and it has like goodbyes. So every day she would write the greeting in her little journal, which is something that I'm definitely going to be doing for 5th grade. I'm going to be having her, planner. It's just academic planner. And she would write hello in the different language. That was her idea, just from me buying this book. And yeah, so I basically wanted her to practice writing the date, keeping the date, knowing how to keep a calendar, etc. And yeah, so she did that pretty much every day, except, weekends and holidays and stuff like that for homeschool. And we don't homeschool language arts on Fridays. So that worked out really well. And I'm getting her already got her a new planner for 5th grade. And yeah, so this book was a huge success. And this will just be something we'll keep in our library, and she could look at it for a long time, even as an adult. Yeah, so that was that. And then, I mentioned cursive handwriting, but I think I was totally forgetting about Draw Right Now. So Draw Right Now is what we use for print. Now, I won't be doing a traditional like print handwriting for 5th grade. I will be doing handwriting without tears and cursive, but I guess you can say she's pretty much going to be getting a lot of print, basically just from doing like writing and different workbooks and stuff. But since this is the last book of Draw Right Now, we're literally finished. I thought they had all of them. We're finished all of the books. It's kind of sad. She loved Draw Right Now. If I could pick, say, a favorite curriculum that she's had, I could almost guess she would say this. So we've been using this book for years. It's a primary composition book that we got. Like, this is from book 2. I don't know if this was like 1st grade, but you can tell how large her print is, all the way until what we're currently on, which is, this was 3rd grade. And then we're getting into 4th grade. This is still 3rd grade, and then now this is like 4th grade. So her print has gotten better. Her drawings have gotten more detailed. And she did most of these is pretty much just the Prismacolor color pencils. And she even started adding her own sentences. Like, it usually has only 4 sentences, but she started adding her own sentences. And yeah, so we're finished. And there is not a 9th book. It ends at book 8. This is book 7 and book 8. I'll just show book 7. They're pretty much the same. If you're not familiar, if you haven't saw my other videos, you draw an animal. For this one, it's usually a different image. And then you write the 4 sentences, and it shows you step by step. And it also has like fun little questions. Like, it's like, question answered on page 28. Do sloths walk on the ground? So it'll tell you. It's just so cool. And then it has like all the answers too. So it's like you learn. It's like educational. Plus, it's like you learn how to draw different things. Plus, you do handwriting. It's just so good. And it ended. Yeah. So we won't be doing that. But like I said, we'll be doing other writings and stuff. Okay. So growing with grammar. This was just the answer key. But we did finish Growing with Grammar. We finished it probably like 2 weeks ago, or maybe like a week ago. Growing with Grammar comes with the student manual. Very straight and to the point. You read this. Well, your child, she reads it at this point by herself. It's like a 2-page usually, or 3, or sometimes 4, but it's not a lot. and it gives you like examples. And yeah, so this one's actually 4 pages of verb phrases, and then you go on to do the workbook after you read it's like the table of contents, after you read the little lesson. We love Growing with Grammar. Another homeschool mom told me about it. I've mentioned that before. Thank you so much again. And we're going to be definitely using it for 5th grade. And yeah, I already bought it. It's actually on the way. It's being shipped right now. And I love Growing with Grammar. It has worked out so good. She's learned so much. So yeah, love Growing with Grammar. Okay, another fun thing we did for 4th grade that was so awesome. If you guys have kids, grade 4 to 6 or whatever, I don't think the grade matters. I can't find one past this one. Like I wish they had more 4 to 6. Daily word ladders. I love these. So this was just another way for her to get, spelling, vocabulary practice, and just kind of like that mental practice. I don't know if you call it it's just like a word ladder, like logic, I guess, kind of. But yeah, so you, they give you hints, and then they give you a word, and then you have to, you get to the word on the top, which is by subtracting letters and so on. They're really fun, but I really liked these. And then for her reading log, I just bought her this Belle's Book Club, and it's so cute. I don't even think they make these anymore. I don't know. I got it from boxlunch.com, and it's basically just a plain old notebook, and we just wrote. I just had her write the author and the title, and that's pretty much it. And I went back and forth on if I was going to have her do a traditional book log where, you fill out more information, what will be the rating, how many pages, quotes, what was your favorite thing about the book or character, et cetera, et cetera. But I changed my mind. And I think because I personally got a book log like that this year, and I'm not really enjoying it. I think some people love that kind of stuff, but I would rather just read the book and talk about it with my husband or with my daughter or with somebody else versus write about it. But that's just me. She's still reading. She has one more book that she's reading, and it's The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate, and she's right here. And we're literally going to be finished homeschool in 4 days. So she probably might get maybe this far. I'm not sure if she'll finish it, but it's okay. She'll finish it in the summer. But as of now, as of April, and I love this book. I read it myself. I highly recommend it. It's based on a true story. It's very bittersweet about this poor gorilla named Ivan, and then the friends that he makes, which is a dog named Bob, and then there's 2 elephants, and it's just a really sweet animal story. So that will be her last book that she wraps up with for 4th grade. This was August 1st. So from August 1st all the way to April, I think the 23rd, no, the 24th today. To April 24th, she read 73 books. Now that includes library books she read in her free time, and homeschool reading like this. Because I wanted her to just log her books starting August 1st, and then she will finish this log at the end of the summer. So that's kind of how we are going to do it. And then her log for 5th grade will start when 5th grade starts, and it'll be the same to the end of the summer. It's just a fun way for us to see the majority of the books she read through mainly the school year. Oh yeah, one other thing she started doing in the morning when we do language arts is this. This was another item that she got as a gift. It's called A Dinosaur a Day, 365 dinosaurs to take you through the year. Now, she used to be dinosaur obsessed because she wanted to be a paleontologist, but now not so much. She wants to be an architect, but I bought her this book for, I think, her birthday because she still wanted to be a paleontologist at the beginning of the year when I saw this book. But it's okay because she still likes doing it. So what we do every single day as part of our homeschool routine ever since she got this book in January was she just reads this out loud. She reads 24th of April, and then she reads the dinosaur, and then she reads everything about it. It's just a quick way to get in a fact and kind of change the pace or change the mood or change the vibe. Kind of we're switching from learning about language arts and grammar and nouns and verbs to reading about a dinosaur. But yet it's still language arts because it's like oral reading. Technically it would be science, but we don't put it in the science category. So this is kind of fun. So this was kind of like a fun way to, add in some more interest to our homeschool day. Now for art. So pretty much the whole year we used Usborne Activities 365 Things to Draw and Paint. And then I bought her this hardback sketchbook to go with it. I don't even know. It's kind of caught me apart. I don't even know the brand. I probably have it in that 4th grade curriculum video. But yeah. So this was a wonderful book for her. As she got older, I became less concerned with art books showing her examples because she's already kind of come into her own style. I talked about this a lot in the beginning. I know I had this different art videos where I talked about process over product and things like that. And, so this book is definitely not process over product. It's very much more technical and kind of like project based on, but yeah, so she had a really lot of fun doing it. Now I'll show you an example. So this was an example, drawing dogs. And so they give you all these dogs you can draw. Now, what we did was each week we did a 2-page spread. So say the first week of homeschool, we opened this and I told her, so you have art, we had art Monday through Thursday. So I told her Monday through Thursday, every day she would get to pick a different dog and or add some more dogs in, depending on how she would interpret it. I kind of left it loose. Like I was like, I didn't say you had to do this yellow or do this brown or do this pink. I was just like, look, this is the theme of the week is dogs. How, do you want to interpret that? And this is what, she, pretty much did for that assignment. She pretty much did most of them exactly how they look. But then it was kind of more about the technique for this one versus like the composition or anything like that. But yeah, so that's what she did for that one. And then the book is just pretty much like that, where it has a lot of stuff you could cut out, collage, textures, things like that. Mixing paint. This was dotted painting. So it has like a mixture of art materials using paint, colored pencil. So this is a texture paper butterfly. So instead of doing a variation, she did one big one, which I was really happy. This came out really well. And this was, oh yeah, that was a fingerprinted monkeys. So I did let her do that with the ink. But some things that we just changed. Oh, I love the way the hand came out. This was the draw a hand. And this was her hand. She actually did it twice. She really loved this one. So, yeah, this was watercolor and like Sharpie. We use Sharpie a lot. I forgot to show a Sharpie at the beginning of this video because Sharpie does not bleed with water and they're very inexpensive. You can buy a big pack of them. We use the ultra fine Sharpies. You can buy a big pack of them and you can use them under watercolor. And versus getting like a fine art pen, which are usually more expensive, harder to find. You have to like order them online. So if you can get Sharpies usually at any grocery store or Target. So we use pretty much Sharpies for the majority of, her art. But yeah, so let me just flip through real quick so I can be here forever. But yeah, so this worked out really good. Each week, like I said, we did a different theme. This is a really good one. We pretty much finished this book for 4th grade, and now we're just doing, this one was like with collage and the city rats. We pretty much finished this book, and now she's just doing individual projects that we're coming up with. Like last week, I had her do a self-portrait. I'm gonna show you guys in a second. So this was one of the watercolor pads I bought, Strathmore watercolor, for 4th grade. And let me show you guys her self-portrait. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have saw. So this was her self-portrait for her 4th grade year. She did it in pencil, and then she actually used the watercolor pencils, but she pressed too hard. And we realized that the lighter that you press with the watercolor pencils, the better it is. But she actually pressed so hard. It ended up kind of working out because it looks like she kind of did it on purpose with the texture. I love the way it came out. So this is her self-portrait. And then she had some other bigger things that she just did in here. This was like a City Cats. This was just this like really kind of light wash of just like, oh, I think it's like vertical. It's like a building. This was just something she expanded when she was drawing some buildings in that other one. This was just a shark that she wanted to do bigger. Then we have some other projects that she did, but this video will be so long. We finished the year with this map, with her making this map. This is a watercolor of the U.S. Hawaii and Alaska, the way that they had Hawaii and Alaska in the book that we used, like she wouldn't have had enough room, so I just had her draw them anywhere. I was like, just put Alaska and Hawaii anywhere you can fit them. But yeah, so she did these with the watercolor pencils. I had her do a very, very light texture with the watercolor pencil and then just kind of fill in with water. And she kind of likes to do art watercolor on the lighter side. So what we used for, let's see, we used this at the beginning of the year, and we used this, and we used this. I had her fill these in with chalk. I had her fill this in. It's like imagination starters. I got these years ago on Rainbow Resource, you guys. I don't even know if they still have them, but I think they have a website like imaginationstarters.com. But yeah, this, and I'm not a fan of it. I'll just say it. Draw the USA step by step. They told us to use a 8.5 sheet of paper horizontally. We did that, and she ran out of room. Maybe we didn't follow directions as much as we should have, or she should have, with the sizes of the state. And some of the states she probably made possibly too big. But that was really frustrating. We started it wait in the beginning, like it's step by step. You line up the paper, and then you just draw each little state one at a time. You know, until you keep drawing one at a time until you get to the end. When we got, I don't know, like probably a halfway, a little bit more than halfway finished, we realized, wow, like you're not gonna have enough room on this 8.5 sheet of paper, which you would think, okay, that's no big deal. Let me just switch paper or start more in the right corner. But it just, I don't know. We just lost interest in it. Like we actually ended up using it a little bit when she did her watercolor map, but I wouldn't buy it again. They have other ones like this, like they have Draw the World. I would suggest if you buy this book to just start with a bigger piece of paper, especially when you're dealing with younger kids. I mean, she's 10, but still, you know what I mean? Like if it were me doing it, I might get away with doing it on the 8.5 by 11. But you know, you're just a human. You're just drawn to like sometimes do things not perfect. We didn't trace it. Like I don't even know, like, does it say to trace it? We did not trace it. But I don't think it even says to trace it. But I thought it would help her visualize mentally where states were. But 50 states is a lot of states to do that with. And I just wouldn't personally buy it again. But basically, I think it's a nice concept. I really do. I used this for first grade, and I like reused it again. And I love when a book is so great that you can use it multiple homeschool years. I gave us a gap because, like I told you guys, I like to keep things fresh. So she had a 2-year gap between using this book, and this is a 50 states, and it's phenomenal. It's just a really great book. So this was mainly the map that she used to draw her watercolor map. And it's just, we literally, what we did every day for geography, we would pick a state, and she would read the key facts, the capital mainly, and all the key facts. Then I would have her kind of pick some things here, but I would mainly have her read this paragraph. And then she always was like interested in like who's from that state. We would go over these people, and then like main things that happen there are things like we would look at this. And that was what we did for geography. We pretty much would just look at this 2-page spread, and then she would, when we were using this book, she would draw that state. But like I told you, we ran out of paper, and then we really just ended up doing the watercolor map instead of redoing this on a larger sheet of paper. And she, yeah, so that's what we did. And then we also colored this in. She would color this in with the chalk. I erased it because it was just a big mess for the on the table. But yeah, so that was what we did. And I love this book. It has just enough information on each state to learn something, and is so visually stimulating. And that was our main geography, if you want to call it, spine. And then I bought this book. They have these on Amazon. It's a 50 States activity book. Now, we didn't finish it yet. This will be something she's going to be wrapping up this week. She already started it. Well, she did this. So, oh yeah, I had her color this in too. As we would do each state, she would color it in this book. So as you can see, she's already colored it all in because we finished all the states. And then she's already started to do this and this and this. And then we have to, she just has to finish it. But this is something you can do multiple pages in a day. Book, even if she doesn't finish it by the end of next week, I'm just going to have her wrap it up in the summer. It's just kind of like a fun little, workbook way to wrap up the 50 states. Now, if you did watch my 4th grade curriculum video, or if you do watch it now, you will see that I did buy another book for geography, which is the national parks. Get to it. we did not get to it at all. But I'm going to show you guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have her finish that book because I bought the little workbook to go with the national parks. And we're going to I'm going to just have her do like a mini little unit in the summer. So yeah, I definitely did not get to that. We kind of just focused on the 50 states. And now for science. So for science, we started off the beginning of science with this book. This is kind of what I was talking about with the dinosaur book. It's just a cute little way to do like a get in a fact. So I would just literally have her pick any page she wanted and just like, pick a fact, like which is the fastest cat. And she would just start off the science with this. Now, I don't think I'm going to continue this idea for 5th grade only because, I think the spine is going to take longer that I picked for 5th grade than to do something like this. But I think this is a really fun concept, and I might go back to this concept of just doing a quick little fact, kind of like the dinosaur book. Those books I kind of just find sporadically, and then they inspire me, and then I end up buying them. Those are books that are hard for me to go on the internet and just find because, now this one's different because I think I found this one at like a thrift store. But the dinosaur book, I just thought it was so beautiful. Same thing with the language book. I just thought it was so beautiful. And if I come across a book like that, I'll just like probably add it in for 5th grade, but I haven't found one yet. Since we did Blossom and Root, Wonders of the Animal Kingdom. Now I have a whole video just on that. If you guys want to check that out, it's like, I think it's like what I use for, but I'll link it. But we used Blossom and Root, and we're wrapping up now. Oh, this was a cute little watercolor she did of a snow leopard because that was her favorite animal. I had her do a watercolor of her favorite animal, and that was what she picked. So we did Wonders of the Animal Kingdom for 4th grade. I would say it was a success. I'm not using Blossom and Root for 5th grade because I think it's like Physical World. Because I'm going backwards. Because what happens is, I think this was year 3. So either year 4 or year 5 is what I was looking at in Blossom and Root. And one of them was like Wonders of the Physical World. And I decided not to do it. It still looks good, but I just decided not to go with it. And mainly what we did was use this notebook. We didn't do a lot of the side projects. I talk about that a lot in my mid-year update for 4th grade. I'll link that too. I'll link the Blossom and Root video, what I bought with it. I bought a bunch of books. And I ended up mainly using the DK Animal, which you'll see linked in a multiple of those videos if you go back and watch them. And then I'll show you guys what we're wrapping up the year with. But mainly I had her do these, which is the student notebooking pages, where every day it was like a different topic. Like this one's like perching birds and raptors, and then she picked the bald eagle, and then she would write a paragraph about it and draw it. I didn't have her colored in. I gave her the option. She chose not to color it, and I said that's fine because it wasn't really art. It was more, to me, I looked at it as more like a field notebook. So I didn't have her color it. It could have been colored, but yeah. So that's what pretty much did, and we totally finished it. And yeah, so that's what we did every time. I would say she learned a great deal because she was really interested in being a zoologist. I've said that probably a million times, but that's why I picked it. She doesn't want to be a zoologist anymore, but we're still animal crazy. We go crazy over watching squirrels and birds. And okay, so now, oh, that was loud, sorry. Okay, so now she's doing the second part of their curriculum, which is the Wild Files, where you pick an ecosystem, and it went with this book, Planet Earth, The One Earth's Workings of Planet Earth. So we're actually doing this book now on the Arctic because she picked the ecosystem of the Arctic. And so this is mainly what this book is broken up by like ecosystems. So this is the book we're pretty much wrapping up Blossom and Root with now. And then she picked the Arctic for her ecosystem, and we're almost finished. She picked the Arctic Circle, and so we're gonna be finishing this week, and it's just like a little study on an ecosystem. So yeah, today she did zooplankton as a primary consumer number 1, and then she pretty much uses my phone to do like internet to do a lot of research because we don't have a book on every single thing. But yeah, so that is what we're wrapping up with Blossom and Root is the eco files. We ended up not doing the book seeds. I think I mentioned that if you watch my mid-year update. I don't know. The book seeds were very hands-on and they had some like nature stuff. I thought it was going to be more like kind of like the Wild Files, and it's really cute idea. Like you have a book you're inspired by, and then you do some projects based on it. I decided to pass because we're not big project heavy homeschoolers, I think. But yeah, it did come with book seeds. I actually already had some of the books that we've already read that went with the book seeds, so I didn't actually buy any books for the book seeds. So that's what we're doing for science. I would say science was a success. We did learn a lot about animals. She learned a lot about zoology. She learned she did not want to be a zoologist, which is a good thing in a way, because she still might go back and change her mind one day and think, oh, maybe I do want to be a zoologist or not zoologist, whatever, wildlife biologist. But yeah. Oh yeah, and this is another book we've been using. Now this is just an old book. I say old. This is in our collection that we've been having on our bookshelf for a while. The Amazing Animal Atlas by Flying Eye. And this is just a book that's been working out also really great with Blossom and Root. I don't even know if I showed this. I might have showed it in that 4th grade, the Blossom and Root video. But yeah, I like how it's like, see, here's the Arctic. So she's definitely using this right now. It's really big. And it has like some pages that open up. Oh, I had that the wrong way. So it goes by like area North America. So yeah, so this book has worked out really well to go also with Blossom and Root. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about science. For 5th grade, I think I talked about science a bit in my 5th grade planning video and then my 5th grade curriculum. But for 5th grade, we're going to be doing more variety of science. History. Okay, so for history, we started off the year with Blossom and Root. The name is like slipping my brains. Gosh. We started off the year with Blossom and Root American History, and we ended up not doing it. I think I talked about that, you guys, in my 4th grade. I hate to like repeat myself, but I think I talked about that in my 4th grade mid-year review. But what it was it was like a lot of student notebooking pages, and we just didn't feel like it, like Blossom and Root American History 1, it translated as well for us to do, like for her to do the drawings and answer some of the questions with the notebooking pages, like it did work as the same way for science. I felt like it worked really well. Like I said, we did very minimalist version of Blossom and Root. But for our minimalist version of Blossom and Root, the history, we just didn't connect. Oh, the books. The books that, River Voices, that's what it is. River Voices that we just did not connect with them personally, with the spines. It was mostly like the illustrations. So we were very illustration heavy for the most part. Kind of. So the books just didn't keep our interest, and that was like the biggest thing. Honest with you, in the back of my mind the whole time, before I even bought Blossom and River Voices for American History, I was like, should I just continue Curiosity Chronicles? And that was Snapshots of Early Modern History, because we use Curiosity Chronicles from ancient history. So I wanted to kind of stay with them, but then I'm not using them for 5th grade. So I ended up buying the audiobook yeah, audio. It's like an audio book, and then it's like the digital version of the textbook. And then I bought these, which is the student like activity pages. And we ended up stopping these. Like we ended up doing these for like most of the year, but then we stopped doing them. We just totally lost interest. I just felt like she wasn't retaining. Like it was like vocabulary, comprehension questions we would do orally, and then have like a timeline. They have other questions I would ask her. And it has like a word search, and it has like illustrations. But this was probably the only one she colored. She doesn't really like. She likes to color her own stuff. I don't know. And then sometimes I had extra things, but I would ask her questions about. We would talk about like what did we learn last time about the part of history. Like Elizabeth extends her reach. She wouldn't remember any of it. And I was just like, why? I don't know. It just felt like we were just doing it just to do it because I bought it, but not really doing it because we were like engaged or getting anything out of it. And I think some people would. We used these activity pages for ancient history and it worked out really great. I think kids change. Like, of course, they grow, they mature. And as she got older, she just wasn't as drawn to doing the activity pages as much, and I just let it go. So what I had her just start doing was reading the textbook on my laptop, because I purchased the electronic version of Curiosity Chronicles, and we would listen at the same time. So she would just read it while they were talking. Parts of history are connected. A lot of things that happen in one area affect what happens in another area, etc., etc. But I think I kind of like studying history a little bit more, where you're focused on like one geographical area and then kind of studying like the time period. I don't know. It's something about the jumping around, from different places. And like I said, that's probably just how history is taught. Maybe it's just the way, I just don't know. There's just something about the way that Curiosity Chronicles, the audiobook, is laid out, that we literally don't remember anything that we heard the week before, and it just doesn't connect with us. I think it's a good curriculum. I think maybe you could take it slower, and maybe like kind of breach out and like learn more about certain periods, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but I'm just deciding against, I'm not going with Curiosity Chronicles. I think there's like volume 2. This is volume 1, yeah. There's like volume 2 for early modern history, and I'm just not using it. I'm just kind of going to do my own thing. Just kind of like science and history, I'm going to be doing my own thing for 5th grade. And I definitely will be showing you guys that in my 5th grade curriculum haul. And so math, I'm not going to go, I've like talked about math a lot, I think, this year. We switched from Beast Academy to Saxon. These were the 3 books that Saxon came with. And I'm not going to like really go much into it, because I've definitely talked about Saxon live. I will just say it's a spiral curriculum. We were using a lot of mastery curriculums, including Beast Academy, Math Mammoth, and we used Singapore Primary, I believe, which I'm not sure what that is. But so we're a little bit more than halfway through, because we did start the year with Beast Academy. So what I decided that we're going to do is that we are going to we're just going to continue doing math in the summer. Now that's not something we normally do. We're not like year-round homeschoolers. We pretty much follow like the traditional public school school year. But since we started Saxon late, this is like the warm-ups that you do before the practice, before you do the main lesson, and this is just the solutions manual. But yeah, so I think that's working out pretty good. She was doing math at the beginning of the homeschool day, but now she's doing it at the end. So that was pretty much the biggest change we made. I'll talk about our schedule and real quick, and then I'll kind of wrap things up. So right now we're doing homeschool Monday through Thursday. That's language arts every day, art every day. Reading, of course, every day. And then even reading we do on Fridays. So reading for 35 minutes, time reading. In the morning, she reads whatever she wants, which is usually like a library book or like a fantasy book that she has from her bookshelf in her room. So we're going to continue that. That worked out pretty well this year. Reading in the morning, whatever she wants. reading 35 minutes timed after homeschool, which is usually the books that we pick at the beginning of the year, which is like the one and only Ivan that I showed you guys. It's books that I help her pick, that because if it were up to her, she would only read middle grade fantasy, and that's fine, for her personal reading. But I want her to read a mixture, I want her to read some Newbery Winners. I want her to read some chapter books. I want her to read some animal stories, some realistic fiction, some historical fiction. I want her to get a variety. So, so for reading, what we did for 4th grade this whole year was we did, like I told you guys, the free reading in the morning, time reading after homeschool, and then we did Friday nonfiction. So on Fridays, instead of doing the 35 minutes of the book that she read Monday through Thursday, she would switch to a nonfiction book. I'm changing that. I don't think that was very successful because, I don't know, it just kind of like ruined the continuity of like every day she just reads the same book until she's finished it. So what I'm going to talk about that for 5th grade, but I mean, I'll just say it since you're watching. If you're watching this for, like, you're really cool. So what I'm doing for 5th grade is I'm just adding in fiction and nonfiction in one big pile, like on her bookshelf, and then she'll just rotate. So when she reads Monday through Friday, it'll be the same thing. Free reading in the morning, 35 minutes after homeschool. But she'll be just rotating the fiction and the nonfiction. So for reading, I talked about that. And I think, reading, like I said, I don't like the nonfiction Fridays. I would rather just mix in the nonfiction with the fiction. And then that's what we're doing for 5th grade. So that's one big change I'm making. The schedule, I think I kind of rambled. What we were doing for 4th grade, I talked about language arts and art being every day, Monday through Thursday. But geography, history, and science, what we were doing this year was we were doing history, like I think Tuesday and Thursday, and then geography also with history Tuesday, Thursday, and then science was Monday and Wednesday. Well, that kind of all got all mixed up, wrapped up, twisted, turned, and because I have this appointment that I've been having, it's like an appointment I don't really want to move. And so that kind of has impacted our geography and history. But since we were doing Curiosity Chronicles and I knew we would have some extra time at the end of the year, I just was like, you know what, let's just do history one day a week. So we started the year doing history 2 days a week, science 2 days a week, geography 2 days a week. We ended the year literally doing science probably 1 day a week, history 1 day a week, and geography 1 day a week. And then the last few weeks, we've been kind of just focusing on project-based stuff. Like her science project Blossom and Root, we've been kind of doing that every day versus only 2 days because I know the goal is to finish it before the end of 4th grade. The map, the watercolor map, that took like probably a week to do. So we kind of just slacked off. We kind of had already finished Curiosity Chronicles. So I was like, let's just go ahead and work on geography and work on science every day. And so we kind of got more loose. And that's cool because I was like, you know what? I'm putting projects ahead of the schedule. But for 5th grade, it inspired me to continue this. So for 5th grade, I will be doing the schedule similar. I will be doing science 1 day a week, history 1 day a week, and geography 1 day a week. Whereas I'm going to continue doing language arts, math, and art 4 days a week. And so I'm adding in some other things too. But it kind of made me realize, like, you know what? Like, maybe I don't need to do 2 days a week for each subject. Because now you might get behind if you don't. So I'm not... See, that kind of changed for us the second half of the year. The beginning of the year, we were doing 2 days for science, 2 days for history and geography. And then we kind of, like, I think it's just at the end of the year comes, you just kind of get more relaxed. That's how we are. Like, we just get kind of like, oh, we don't have to rush. We don't have to, like, fit this in. We could just be more relaxed. And that's just kind of how it's been happening. And I like that. I like being relaxed, I like not feeling stressed, like, we got to do this today, we got to do that. And some people love schedules, they live by schedules. And I'm kind of like 50-50. Like, I like to plan things, but on the other hand, I also kind of like to, like, let things kind of simmer and kind of, like, check out things as they come, be more spontaneous. So, yeah. I hope that's everything I wanted to discuss for 4th grade. Thanks so much. If you're not subscribed, I would love for you to do that. It makes me so happy. It helps me grow my channel, know what videos you guys like. I love when you like, subscribe, and watch. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching and liking. I love your support. Thanks again. Have a good day or night. Bye.